agency were involved in a plot to kill Kennedy.
The Trump administration says the release represents a campaign promise kept, a promise he made the day Robert F. Kennedy Jr. endorsed him.
I have never had more people ask me, please, sir, release the documents on the Kennedy assassination. And we're going to do that.
And during a visit to the Kennedy Center on Monday, he announced they were ready to go.
People have been waiting for decades for this. I don't believe we're going to redact anything.
Caitlin Huey-Byrne, CBS News, Washington.
I'm Christine Frizzell in Washington. It's an event some still remember more than any other in their lifetimes. The assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Now thousands of pages of just...
And welcome back here to Live Now from Fox. I'm Andrew Pratt.
Yes,
story
everybody.
takes us to the state of Louisiana. Live picture there over the New Orleans skyline. Well, we're learning, and I want to put this up from Fox 8, our partners down there, that convicted rapist murderer Jesse Hoffman, 46 years old, was put to death tonight by nitrogen hypoxia. This was Louisiana's first state execution since 2010. And so we wanted to make sure we put this on your radar. And the New York Times says as follows, that almost immediately after taking office last year, Governor Jeff Landry of Louisiana pushed through bills that lengthened prison sentences and eliminated parole for most new convictions. And he argued that resuming executions after a long lull would signal the state was serious about cracking down on crime. Well, today the state did just that, the New York Times reports, carrying out its first execution since 2010. It used nitrogen gas, a method that was first used by Alabama last year and that was legalized by Louisiana lawmakers shortly afterward. That got live to New Orleans. So a press conference just wrapped up. You're going to hear from the Attorney General there in the state of Louisiana and some of these reporters who witnessed the execution there.
Beach wear. So them are have. So all them have office. Then them are go telling us if we wear lingerie next. So them have pool. Alright, so all them can wear beach wear come and work. And you want to rip in your pants and them a say so. That not sound right. Good evening.
On September 11th.
Everyone.
Beginning at 6:30
That
a.m. this morning, Mr. Hoffman had visitation with his family, his attorneys, and his spiritual advisor. At approximately 3 o'clock p.m., Mr. Hoffman's visitation with his family concluded. Mr. Hoffman's attorney was permitted to remain with him until approximately 5:10 p.m. The attorney was allowed to return around 6 p.m. to advise Mr. Hoffman in the U.S. Supreme Court. Mr. Hoffman's spiritual advisor remained with him the entire time and walked with him into the execution chamber. Mr. Hoffman declined a final meal. At approximately 6:12 p.m., Mr. Hoffman was escorted to the execution chamber, positioned on the gurney, and the mask that delivered the nitrogen was set in place. Mr. Hoffman's spiritual advisor was led into the execution chamber, and a member of the execution team remained inside the execution chamber with the spiritual advisor for security. Individuals from the Louisiana Department of Justice, Louisiana Governor's Office, the St. Tammany Parish District Attorney's Office, along with media representatives from the Advocate/Times-Picayune and WDSU witnessed Mr. Hoffman's execution. At approximately 6:20 p.m., the curtain to the witness chamber opened. Louisiana State Penitentiary Warden Darrell Benoit provided Mr. Hoffman with the opportunity to make a last verbal statement. Mr. Hoffman declined the statement. At approximately 6:20 p.m., Warden Benoit informed the witness that the state would now carry out the execution of condemned inmate Jesse Hoffman. Mr. Hoffman's spiritual advisor remained inside the execution chamber and carried out the previously approved written plan to assist Mr. Hoffman with the exercise of his spiritual beliefs. Nitrogen gas began to flow
Silent
at approximately
watchers, good night
6:21 p.m.
or good
and
evening.
flew for approximately 19 minutes. At approximately 6:40 p.m., the curtains to the witness
Good
chamber
morning,
closed,
wherever
and
you
Mr.
are
Hoffman's spiritual advisor was
from
permitted time to remain in the execution
in
chamber
the wider
according to the
diaspora.
written plan prior to the coroner entering the execution chamber. I believe it was 5 minutes. Subsequently, the curtain to the witness chamber
5
opened,
minutes.
and Warden Benoit informed the witnesses that at approximately 6:50 p.m., the execution of Mr. Hoffman was carried out in accordance with the laws of the state of Louisiana. I'll now turn it over to Attorney General Murray. I say quick. I say quick answer first. So it took 5 minutes.
Well,
So it was
all when a person do a lot of bad things, you don't want to hear that.
Murphy
Same way.
Elliott. She was known to her friends as Molly.
Kidnap a woman, rape her and kill her.
On November 28,
Great
1996, on
On
Thanksgiving
this place, you
Day,
cannot say that.
a duck hunter
That's
found
it.
Molly
That's it.
Elliott's
That's it.
naked, dead body
Shade upon it.
abandoned on a makeshift dump, where she had been shot in the head execution style after being kidnapped, robbed,
Oh
terrorized,
boy.
raped, and marched to this desolate spot for her death. Molly was brutally and mercilessly raped and murdered. She was only 28 years old.
Great.
That was nearly 30 years ago. Tonight, justice was served for Molly Elliott and for the state of Louisiana. Molly's husband told USA Today, Molly was a cherished person who missed out on motherhood, a promising and successful career,
Oh my.
and a life in the country on the property we bought
So
together.
she was a young girl,
Hers
just
was a
got
life
married.
that was so full of hope and promise for a beautiful future.
Oh my God.
The loss of Molly is a scar we will forever carry, and it will never heal. Governor Landry and I made a promise to the citizens of Louisiana and the family members of the victims of these heinous crimes that we would put them first and that we would follow the law. The last execution in Louisiana was in 2010 of Gerald Bordelon, who waived
Well, if you
all
know
of
a
the
lie,
spinal
break it.
appeals.
That is the
Justice has
penalty.
been delayed for these victims and their families for far too long. I, along with my office, remain committed to ensuring that justice is carried out in all the death penalty cases. Jesse Hoffman was convicted and sentenced to death by a jury for his heinous crimes. He received multiple appeals. He received even more appeals and review in the last several days.
Israeli forces have resumed ground operations in the Gaza Strip, and the Houthis put President Trump's red line to the test. Like right away, they crossed it. Just a couple days ago, Trump said the next shots fired by the Houthis against Americans we will view as being fired from Iran. And right away, we saw missiles and drones being fired at U.S. ships in the Red Sea. So we'll see. There has been a U.S. response already, but I don't think it's out of the cards that we see some sort of military action taken against Iran in the next couple days or weeks. Now, starting out with Israel here and then moving over to the Houthis, because this is all very much interconnected. Some IDF statements here. They said over the past day, IDF troops began targeted ground activities in the central and southern Gaza Strip in order to expand the security zone and to create a partial buffer between northern and southern Gaza. As a part of the ground activities, the troops expanded their control further to the center of the Netzarim corridor. That corridor is the strip that has run through the center of the Gaza Strip to the coast. It's what Israel has long used throughout the combat operations in the Gaza Strip recently. It's what they use to kind of keep a lot of their troops resupplied and a major focus of moving in and out of the Gaza Strip. It looks like they're trying to reopen that now. So one thing to keep in mind is this is territory that Israel fought over and took from Hamas within the last year at least. And they gave it back. And now they're going back in to recapture some of that territory. A lot of what we're hearing out of Israel right now is that this time it's going to be different. There's going to be different tactics, different process, different targeting. Who knows exactly what that means when the rubber meets the road, but it does look like they're going to be approaching the Hamas threat and the recovery of the hostages a little bit differently now than they were last time. Now this follows a series of Israeli airstrikes all across the Gaza Strip for a couple days now. Again, moving to the IDF statement here, They say the IDF struck dozens of terror infrastructure sites and launching areas in the Gaza Strip. One of the targets was the command center of Hamas's Daraj Tufa battalion.
If you turn up your one for background.
IDF troops.
Huh?
And there were also
Turn
a
up your
significant number of high-value targets eliminated in these strikes, according to Israel, including the new head of Hamas in Gaza. So they say over the past day, the IDF and ISA struck dozens of terror targets and terrorists throughout the Gaza Strip, including Hamas commanders. The strikes were conducted to damage the terrorist organization's military and governmental capabilities and to remove
from
threats to the state of Israel. And
Look
in
at the
citizens,
phone.
the IDF put out this
That's
graphic
cool,
that I'll
should do
share
after
here,
you.
showing 4 senior leaders that they
Good
say were
evening,
eliminated
good
in these
evening,
strikes.
good
My
evening.
apologies for the pronunciation here,
Silent
but you got it on the
watchers,
screen, so
how
you
are
see how
you?
badly I mess it up. First off here, the new head of Hamas in Gaza, they say was killed, Essam al-Dailas. We've got Ahmed Amar Abdullah al-Hatta, the Hamas Minister of Justice.
They are a
Saad
feed me
Mohammed
face, you know?
al-Sultan, head of the Hamas Internal Security. And then Mahmoud Marzouk Ahmed Abu Wafda, the Hamas Interior Minister. So, look, if that's the result of just a day or two of airstrikes, it means that clearly Israel was watching the Gaza Strip pretty closely during the course of this ceasefire and knew exactly where these guys would be and what it would take to eliminate them in just the first night or two of airstrikes. Now, we do have casualty figures coming from the Hamas-affiliated Palestinian Ministry of Health. They say that at least 436 people were killed, including at least 180
There you are,
children,
one.
94 women, 34
Feed me
elderly people,
face.
and
I'm
125
tired
men,
and
and
hungry.
that at least 678 others are injured,
Yeah.
and many more still remain
Hi,
trapped
Journey.
under the rubble. Now, turning to the Israeli Defense Minister, talking about this operation kicking
I
off, this
see,
is
hi,
desperate
Journey.
gas.
Journey, you done do the people them work.
He said, quote, "The first
You done do the people them
the
work.
second Sinwar will completely devastated. Soon the evacuation of civilians from
Stop
combat zones
by
will resume,
to
and what
like
follows will
up
be far more severe.
your
We will
live.
fight full price.
Thank you,
Return the
Journey.
hostages and remove Hamas.
I'm coming
Alternatives to
over.
destruction and devastation."
When
Now,
you're
waiting to
ready,
see what this
we'll
new
start
method
yours.
looks
I'm
like
coming
for
over.
Israel going after Hamas, trying to clear
Yeah.
out that.
I was watching Classic Today doing hair. Yeah.
Why does he need to do this now when there's so much
She was doing styling the mannequin here today. Meanwhile, me a cook. Meanwhile, me a cook. Me a watch her. Yeah. So me dey here now, you know. Come back, go on the road again and come back and sit down and eat some food. Yeah. I'm glad say you done work you know still and you know. Maybe you had a look relaxing, you know. Or you're on your way going home. You know. Hopefully everybody is either finish working or soon finish working or is at home relaxing. Yeah, sorry, that's sweat. Yeah, so just here a listen some news and something. Oh, you're home. Alright. Me soon come over by your side, yeah? As soon as you start. I don't know, last night me never see you on something, so I don't know. You take a break or maybe me didn't look for you hard enough. But I was looking, I only saw, me never see you live last night. I don't know why, maybe you never come live last night. Maybe you never come live.
Everybody's like from a movie set. Good looking guys. I get down the stairs and what's your name? My name is Kane, sir.
Yeah.
They call me Raisin. I said, wait a minute, your name is Raisin Kane? I love you. I've been looking for you for 5 years. You are the great. This is what I want. And
you know, say apart from President Trump, some him kind of nice otherwise, but him kind of nice otherwise, but apart from some little mishaps that him do where maybe I have to go look over back some of the stuff them where I do, where maybe come across as wrong. Yeah. He's a comedian. Yeah. He have a comedian side to him. Never do live last night. Yeah, come did I look for you? I mean not see you. Never do live last night. I did in the day. Yeah, I did upon the one I think in the day. Yeah. I think it was remember if it was a restream. I think.
And they want us to fight here. We have many substations out, sub-airports, they call
Yeah,
them,
so
airports, where they build them
I
in the
was
sand.
on that one.
And we have
But I look for you, I see you, so I say, alright.
so
I go on my bed
so hard in
because
so many different directions.
I have to depend on the road like Carl say
What do you think? He said, you just let me know. I called it back.
3
and I
times a
said, go
day.
ahead and do it. Are you sure you
3
can do
times a
this,
day.
Jim? I said, yes,
So
sir. And he did it actually in 3
hectic.
weeks. It was over 100%.
Very, very hectic.
People that are
So
really
you see when night
hurting in
come.
the Middle East,
Good
hurting
evening everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you for the likes. Yeah, welcome, welcome, welcome to A&I Family Adventure TV. If it's your first time here, remember to go over to watch a video of ours and leave a comment, share it with a friend, tell a friend to tell a friend, and just continue to come over and show your support. We appreciate you all. Yeah? So I just go on my bed, go sleep, because I realize now say when night come, even before night even come, I dey on the bus and like me I fall asleep. Every minute me I shut, me I fall asleep. So you know, I go on my bed early. Just go lie down and sleep.
I watch some of the big business leaders saying we absolutely.
So you know when you get a good little rest,
They're not working.
if you get up in the morning, your body will feel much more better. You know have that hangover feeling and stuff like that. So you know the body ready for the next day. Yeah. So we're there here, listen. President Trump.
It's happening. A lot of people are leaving, and in some cases leaving with pretty good offers. You know, you're paid 7 or 8 months and go out, find a job. But some of these people had jobs. They were actually working for us, but they also had other jobs. And those people, in theory, they have problems. I'm not going to do anything about that. So we have other things to do, but they were working other jobs.
So I must say some of the people are leave.
Working, but they were working other jobs, getting paid a lot of money perhaps.
Huh? It's confusing. You must say some of the people them have other jobs, they have the job, but they have other jobs. So I guess they leave his job and go and do their job, their other job.
That's never going to work for anybody, including companies. Companies ought to get smart. You watch these companies where they do that, they start going bad. Nobody knows what's wrong with this company. Well, try taking people back into the office where they can be cohesive and together.
Me say, it's not easy, you know. I tell you.
Government officials.
Me know.
Saved over 55. This is just a short
Thank you, Journey,
$55 billion.
for the emoji. Yeah. Sometimes you like hear some of the things them we say because it's hilarious. It's hilarious. Some of the things them we talk, a real comedian. Then if you put him in a something, one movie, one play, some skit, put him in a skit. Yeah. Watch him hug up it. Watch him lean one side now. Watch him. Him lean to the other side now, you know, and hug up the what you call that something there again? Where you stand up and talk around it with the mic. Yeah? So
Hello, Max. What can I do for you?
him no easy at
Stock
all.
prices? Shopping list? Lights on? Lights off?
Yeah, if it's skipping. We say America hands full right now. Jump full up there and may I tell you. them have a president to deal with, may I tell you. Their hands full.
38% of active oil and gas rigs in the United States, but they love the wind turbines that go round and round and round. Wind turbines, they got problems. They kill all the birds, they ruin the sight lines, they ruin the plains and the beautiful areas of our country, including the oceans, the lakes. They closed more than 50 power plants, all causing energy prices to skyrocket. You saw that happen. That's what caused inflation pretty easy.
You hear that? So he might blame everything now on those persons. So they killed the birds and all the.
For emergencies, it wasn't meant for getting a price of gasoline down.
So he might blame all of that now on the persons who are doing the gas, the oil.
It's a very small number. It just had a very small effect, but in the meantime, it takes it down. Now it's at the, we'll fill it up fast, but it's at the lowest level. When we made the transition, it was at the lowest level in history, ever recorded. The lowest level. Nobody's ever seen it that way. They put it all out because they thought they could keep gasoline prices.
You know, sometimes some of the things them where you hear him say, when you hear him say, when you come across the videos, you realize that some of the things them kind of make sense, but some of the things them not really make sense.
Under the Trump administration, we have implemented a very different
because the one where he's saying no, the one with John F. Kennedy, the president, what happened to him, and you know, that is something to look into. Yeah. So at least him come forward with that, allegedly. Hopefully whatever is going on is true, and you know, the families can have some form of closure. Then again, the person who took the fall for that happened to President Kennedy, that person family also is gonna wanna know, you know, have some form of, maybe they have to some form of apology or something, because that person also lost his life because they thought he was the one who did it. So either way, she's going to prepare myself. Okay, I'm coming over. Prepare yourself. I'm coming over there. I'm coming over. Yeah. Yes, guys. So we are going over journey. We're going over journey shortly, right? So just look up the name. If you don't have journey already, yes, I know the silent watchers are watching. So if you don't have journey already, just put journey and look her up, because we are going over journey shortly. So when journey go live, you will see that she's live and join the live as well. Yeah, journey will make you laugh. Journey will tell you the things as it is. Yeah. So rock and come in on Journey channel. Journey soon start our live now. So I'll be going over there. Yeah. So guys, big up yourselves and have a wonderful rest of your evening. Thank you for joining us here this evening. We do appreciate you every time you do come on and join us. Yeah. And thank you, my survey is going well. Yeah. Big up on yourself and enough love from A&I. Yeah. Big up on yourself. Let me see the other phone. Me can't. Me can't look up.
It's bad, it's really bad. You find the bodies on trees on the side of a tree. I said, I think we'll pass on that one, right? We're not gonna want that one. But you never know, maybe someday it'll be good, but it doesn't sound like it's off to a good start. I repealed the last administration's very destructive natural gas export ban. And last week we approved our first new liquefied natural gas export license, and we have literally hundreds of people that want to export. I recently met with the Japanese Prime Minister to discuss large increases in American oil and gas exports. They wanted so badly. They said we went to the Biden administration, they wouldn't sell it. They wouldn't sell it. Nobody knows why. Biden didn't know why either. They asked him, I don't know. They did, oh, I didn't know that. But we're going to sell it, and the new project in Alaska is going to feed all of Asia. We're going to take care of all of Asia. We have so much oil and gas, like very few people, like very few countries have. Like actually, no country has. I also met with Prime Minister Modi. India wants to greatly expand India's purchase of American energy, and my administration has also launched the most aggressive deregulation program of any nation in history. Under my executive order, for every one new regulation added, 10 old regulations have to be eliminated. And you know, in our first term, which was actually an incredible success, we had the greatest economy in history until COVID, and even after that, we did great. The stock market was higher. If you think of it, it was higher after the fact. After we went through that whole thing, it was higher than it was just prior to COVID coming in, which is a pretty amazing thing. But we did a great job on that, but it was a terrible thing for the world. The whole world suffered. It suffered terribly, including China, including other countries. It just was a terrible period of time. But despite that, we did well. We had the greatest economy in the history of our country. And I think this time we're going to do even better. We were artificially hurt by COVID. We had to focus on that instead of focusing on, but just prior to COVID coming in, there's never been anything like what we did, what we achieved. And even after, we did very well, and especially considering what all of us had to do with COVID. Some nations were hit so badly, it's just unbelievable what happened to them. As part of our effort, I've signed executive orders to keep the United States at the forefront of artificial intelligence and to end Joe Biden's war on Bitcoin and crypto. We ended that war totally. That war is over. They were very hostile toward them until the very end, just because there's so many people on Bitcoin and crypto that just before the end, the SEC came out and they were being very nice. I was so nice to people because so many people were being indicted.
Good
No reason
evening.
whatsoever.
How are
Very
you?
political group of people. All they did was like indicting people. But they were being indicted, and many of those indictments were dropped just before the election because they said, wait a minute, there's 100 million, 125 million people using this, and they didn't want to have, all these people being voted against. But by the time they did that, it was too late. We had that vote entirely, I think. I think anybody smart that believed in that, and there are a lot of people believing it. Anybody who was smart voted for Trump. And they pulled the indictments. And I see people that were indicted. I said, I saved your life. I saved your life. Because if they thought that, they actually thought that I was doing, they said, why is Trump doing it? Is he doing it for political reasons? I don't do anything for political reasons. I do what's right. I do it. I want to be in the forefront of every industry. So, I'll be working with the Republican Congress to pass the largest tax cuts in American history. And that includes, obviously, we have to extend the Trump tax cuts, which were, until now, the largest. We're going to dramatically cut taxes for families and for workers and for companies, including no tax on tips and hopefully no tax on Social Security and no tax on overtime. And that overtime one is a sleeper because I think a lot of people are going to be spurred on to do a lot of extra work. when they hear that. It's a lot of companies really like it, and a lot of people really like it. The new Trump tax cuts will also include 100% expensing for new factory construction in the United States and anything else that you're going to buy with capital. If you buy something that is going to be good for our country, we're going to let you expense it, 1 year expense. And I did that the first time, and everybody was saying, can you go back to that? Now you still get, I guess, 40% or whatever, but it, pares down. But we're going to bring that right up to the top level. I think that had a lot to do with the success that I had during my first term. And we'll substantially cut taxes for all domestic producers.